I am on Patreon, and Patreon is a platform where I will upload interesting videos where you can learn astrology. Connect with me on Patreon and we will grow, and I will give you much more deep insights on Vedic astrology, and lot more secrets will be shared there. Aries. For Aries, if you observe that Mercury becomes forward and then retrograde in your 5th house. Buddha rules your 3rd and 6th house. So you will see that there will be transformation coming in the field of communication. And if you are into any sort of debt related problems, if you are trying to work towards a new business, launch a new product, this is going to be a very good transit, especially when Mercury is stationary. This is going to make you rethink about different perspective. Different aspects will come in your knowledge. That information you will have to use it wisely, and because that Mercury aspects the 11th house, this definitely has a chance to give you a lot of income. Now, the moment Mercury enters the sign of Leo, it is now aspected by a retrograde Saturn, which also aspects your ascendant. So there is always a chance that after the retrograde Mercury, loan repayment can happen quickly, or if you are already into the burden of debts, this can forcefully clear the debt, which might put you into some sort of financial trouble. So you need to check that out. But overall, your health will improve. You will get the power to speak what you cannot speak before. And from the perspective of career and your overall life, it will be a very good transit. Because it is the loss of the 6th house, it also means that you will learn something new to relaunch your career into a different space. So career-wise also, this is going to bring in new opportunities. Taurus. Now in case of Taurus, Mercury transit in the 4th house is actually a transit where you will rethink, you will bring your consciousness towards matters related to home, real estate, your assets, and also your position in your family because of your career. Means you may be bringing your career problems in your family, personal matters, and now you have to rethink, rework on that, especially after 5th of August. Now when Buddha goes in the sign of Leo, this is your 2nd and 5th lord going into the 4th house. So it's a good Rajyog. It also shows that you will try to convert your wealth into assets, and which is a good thing. You will also see that you will have to rethink about the atmosphere of your home, the way you see things in your home, the way you buy or consume things with respect to your children. That means your children's need may superimpose your needs at this point of time. But overall for Taurus, this is going to bring in profits in business. This is going to make you very productive. This is a transit which will give you, a proper communication with your life partner. And this is going to make you work towards work-life balance. There is a retrograde Saturn in the 10th, and now from 5th there is a retrograde Mercury in the 4th. So this axis is going to make you become very neutral and do something which is extraordinary. So for you, it's an extraordinary transit, and it will give you extraordinary results by chanting Buddha Bija Mantra or Bhagwan Ganesh Mantra Om Gam Ganpate Namah. You will be able to achieve a lot, especially if you are a student or if you are a writer, if you work in the field of real estate or in the field of sales and marketing. Gemini. Now in case of Gemini, your ascendant and 4th house is ruled by Buddha. Now this Mercury goes in the 3rd house. So this is going to give you a lot of courage. It will give you power to communicate what you really want to communicate, and exactly in the manner you want. But then you also have to do this before retrograde Mercury. Once the Mercury goes retrograde, it is going to make you rework and rethink on a lot of different aspects of life. So don't give a knee-jerk reaction, otherwise you will have to take back your words. Otherwise this can prove that you are trying to pull back up, say, a product. If you have launched a product without proper understanding of everything, you may have to recall it back, or you will have to rework and kind of resolve the conflict you created. So be careful with your words, but otherwise it's a very good transit. It's a transit that may also trigger sudden travel with respect to your siblings, and travel with people you love. So overall, it's a very, very pleasant transit. Now this Mercury is also going to see a retrograde Saturn in the 9th house, which means you will have to focus on your goals, on your own self, and this time you will have to take matters in your own hand, but in a way that it becomes very diplomatic in nature. New strategies will come, communication skills will develop, IT and communication industry will flourish if you are a Gemini, and if you are into telecom or into any such field related to mathematics and science or even statistics, and if you're a student related to these fields, you will see good career progress. A 3rd house Mercury always means that you want to communicate. Your consciousness is to talk, but be very careful what you are supposed to say and what you're not supposed to say. One wrong move, and because Rahu is in your 10th house, it can create unnecessary controversies. To avoid that, chant Ganesh Kavach or Ganesh Atharva Sheersh. Cancer Ascendant. For Kark Lagna and Kark Rashi, Budh, Mercury rules your 12th house and 3rd house. And this Mercury goes in your 2nd house. Now, because of the 12th Lord going in the 2nd house, this may mean unnecessary expenses. Or it may also mean that you are going to take in the family's money, maybe the inheritance, and you are going to invest it somewhere else. You may also spend some money in traveling, or you may also earn while you travel, earn through travel vlogs, earn through if you are in a travel and tourism industry. So it is going to give you a lot of profits. It is going to give you a lot of success. But if you are not focused enough, this is going to make you miss the opportunities because you are scared about something. Say you are scared about speaking your heart out, you are scared about investment, you are scared about something. A retrograde Saturn in the 8th house is going to play a game. This is going to create and open the Pandora's box, and the 2nd house Mercury will not be able to manage it. So what should you do? Retain the confidence. Jupiter is in your 11th house. This Jupiter is aspecting your 3rd house and 7th house, so wish fulfillment will happen. But while Mercury is moving, then going stationary and then going back, because twice Mercury will shift the Gandanta, this will also alter your personality. So be prepared when you are speaking, especially if you are into the field of communication, if you are in the field of debating, if you are into field of journalism or news anchoring. You will have to present yourself positively, and a job change is on the cards, and you should avoid any negligence. Now, 2nd house is also related to eyes. 2nd house is also related to thyroid. 2nd house is also related to your mouth and something that you consume or eat. So you need to be careful, because overconsumption of either knowledge, information, or even food is very much possible. Leo. Now, in case of Leo ascendant, if you observe that Mercury will be in your ascendant. Mercury rules your 2nd house, 11th house. So definitely this is the time when you will rethink about your money. This Mercury is going to make you connect with yourself. So any self-introspection, any kind of financial difficulty where you are trying to see yourself in is going to be resolved, especially when Mercury will enter the 1st house. And this is also the time when you will be able to, communicate about your heart, about your feelings, your emotions, because there is a retrograde Saturn in the 7th house. This will force your emotions to come out. This is something that you cannot hide. So it is going to make you a little vulnerable. So if you feel that emotionally you are not in the right space, you're not with the right set of people, then you may have to figure out how to manage your emotions and how to manage your relationship during this time. Expenses will be towards you. So you will see that you would want to absorb as much as you can, consume as much as you can. With respect to food, you will have to be careful, otherwise food allergies can create problems in your case. And overall, with respect to your approach towards life, your relationship, something which is more communicative in nature, all that will see the positive signs when Mercury, Budh, comes in the 1st house. But on the other hand, when Mercury enters the 1st house, it wants you to focus, it wants you to generate transactions. So suddenly you will see that you will start moving. This is the end of lethargy. It will force you into action. And if you are still not active enough, the retrograde Mercury will make you highly active. So which means if you have any neurological problem, this is going to be a very, very good chance that you can recover. Skin related issues may also happen. Scalp or hair related issues can also trouble you. So take care of that. Do proper hair routine and skin routine. Virgo. Now in case of Virgo, your ascendant lord is going in the 12th house and then Mercury will become retrograde. So it is going to make you overthink. Mercury in the 12th house is not a very comfortable Budh. It means that you are alone in an isolated space and thinking about something. So if you are like that, if that is your nature, you will love this time. But if you are an extrovert, if you want to go out and mingle with people, then there can be certain trouble. There can be certain emotional disturbance in your case, because you may find that you are not getting right information. You are the only person doing things around you, especially in your career. So a lot of people will find them who are in individual contributor role a bit difficult to manage the circumstance, and the data that comes in are more scrambled and jumbled. What should you do? Wait for Mercury to enter the first house, because when Mercury enters the sign of Virgo, it will become exalt. And this is going to resolve a lot of problems. But when Mercury is in Virgo zodiac sign, it is more about changing your career. It is more about knowing more about yourself, but by not being you, like being an empty cup. Now for people who work in abroad, who are doing goods and services transactions overseas, who are in the shipping and transport business, who are in the aviation business, who are in the field of cargo, who work in international banks, you will see a lot of positivity going around when Mercury enters the Leo zodiac sign, because this is your 10th lord going in the 12th house. Which also means that there can be certain, on the negative sense, this also means that there can be a certain loss of reputation because of your bad words. And you can lose your image, especially after 5th of August, when Mercury will become retrograde. So be very, very careful about how you speak and what words you put ahead, especially in the field of social media. People involved in journalism and writing will see a lot of new contracts coming your way. A good time to repay the debts, a good time to recover from the health, especially if you are suffering from any sort of mental health. Libra. Now in case of Libra, Budh rules your 9th house and 12th house. And when Mercury goes in the 11th house, then on 5th of August it becomes retrograde. You can understand that it's your 9th lord going in the 11th house. So it's a wish-fulfilling transit. You will be loved by people around you. Your aura will be very positive. And you will see that you will be able to convert your losses into gains, especially if in the field of stock market, in the field of finances, in the field of sales and marketing. You will be able to meet your target, match the expectations. And this is going to be a kind of a transit where you will heavily work on result oriented approach, and you will be able to produce things sometimes literally out of thin air. So there is some extraordinary output coming in your life. And when Mercury comes in the 11th house, this is about a very good place for Mercury. Mercury, birth, communication, transactions, 11th house, salary, 11th house is network communication, people around you want to talk to a lot of people, you want to do podcasting, you want to do debate. This is the right time. So for Libra, Budh transit in the 11th house is an excellent time to focus on your own abilities to speak, mingle, communicate. And if you are doing career related to these things, it's perfect. And even if you are an elderly person, you will see that you will be seeing the end of your isolation. You will find people to talk to, you will find avenues to communicate, and maybe you are joining some community and you are having people around you so that you can share your emotions and share your experiences. Brilliant time. Scorpio. Now for Scorpio, Budh is going to be a very secretive planet. It's your 8th lord, and Mercury is also your 11th lord. So on one side, Mercury rules all the transformation. On the other side, it also rules your income, it rules your expectation and wish fulfillment. And such Mercury goes in the 10th house, and then it becomes retrograde on 5th of August, which means that it is going to make you create major transformation in your career. It's mostly a career-oriented transit. It may not create action, but it will create emotions that may become an action later on. So when you are rattled because of a bad day, when you are angry because of a bad discussion with your supervisor or bosses, do not overreact. Because the only problem this Mercury can create for you is an overreaction because you think you are in command or lead. On one side, you will be given the power, but on the other side, Saturn is retrograde in the 4th house. It can take away the power. So in order to execute the task, you will have to be and face a little uncomfortable situation. Better to accept it and move one step at a time. If you rush, you will fail. If you are slow, you will win. So here you have to follow the age-old quotation, slow and steady wins the race. Then a retrograde Mercury in the 10th house will create a change of career. This also means that promotion is very much possible. Anything that was stuck will now move in the right direction. As soon as 8th Lord energies starts acting in the 10th house, it creates a change of reputation. Maybe people will now love your knowledge. You are now required in that critical space where earlier nobody knew what to do with that information, and now you fill that gap. So you can fill that gap and exactly blend in and fit in. And you will find your own worth and your own space. That's the power of this Budh in Leo. Sagittarius. Now in case of Sagittarius, Mercury is 50% of your Kendra Bhav. Budh rules your 7th house, 10th house, and it goes into the 9th house. So you can expect this is going to be a great revelation. This is going to be a transit which is going to give you success, knowledge, travel, and possibly the presence of a guru. So the divine presence is coming, and it is expected of you that you are going to make the best use of this information. Why? Because your career, your marriage, your entire work is dependent upon the result of this Mercury which goes in the 9th house. So luck will favor you, but don't test the luck. Don't ride on the wave of luck. If something good happens, enjoy, but be a little orthodox in your approach. Now when this Mercury becomes retrograde in the 9th house, it will aspect the 3rd house. And therefore it is going to make you speak something which you should not have spoken. So be careful with your words. But otherwise in general, this is going to sharpen your speaking abilities, and you will be able to do much more during the Mercury transit in the sign of Leo. One more thing, that when Mercury is moving from 8th house to the 9th house and then coming back to the 8th house, this is the time when a lot of new things will happen in your life, especially the equations in your marriage will change, a lot of things in your career will change, people will be involved, and you will see the pattern changes, the productivity line changes, and maybe everything happens for its own reason and everything happens for good. It's a very good time for people who want to do PhDs, who want to learn a new language, who are involved in IT and IT-enabled services, or if you are into any kind of diplomatic services, it's going to be a very good time for you. Budh in the 9th house is the rise of your life, and it's a blossoming of your fate. Capricorn. Now in case of Capricorn, Mercury rules your 6th house and Mercury rules your 9th house. This Budh goes into the 8th house. Now 8th house Mercury means you want to start joint businesses with, say you will go into mergers, partnerships. You can start something with your in-laws, or even you will see that joint properties, joint assets will be created with your spouse. But there can be disputes because of the conflicts that might arise due to this after Mercury becomes retrograde. It's a Vipreet Rajyog. So you need to allow the Mercury, say you want to start something jointly with your business partner, or you want more investment to come, wait for Mercury to become direct again after it has become retrograde. Wait for that direct movement of Mercury in Leo, because then the true energy shift will be to the 9th house. So whatever change happens is happening to change your destiny. But right now, whatever change is happening to draw you back to the 7th house. So definitely one area that is impacted the most is business during this time. You will have to be very careful when you are in anger and you are speaking something negative about the family of your spouse. This can spiral down and can break marriages and relationships. So be very, very watchful of your words and actions. And this is also the time when your 9th Lord is in 8th house. So definitely change of fate is going to happen. People involved in healing, Vastu, astrology, numerology will have a great time during this Mercury transit. And if you're a Capricorn Ascendant or Capricorn moon sign native, but this also means that your mind, your focus, your attention, your consciousness is seeing things that are a little difficult. So you might assume that this is a very difficult time. What you should do? Do the sadhana of Ma Bhagavati, Ma Matangi, Ma Durga or Bhagwan Ganesh. Aquarius. For Aquarius, Mercury rules your 5th house and 8th house, and this Mercury goes in the 7th house. So definitely this is going to impact your marriage a lot. This means that your money, your expertise is being consumed by your marriage or your business. So that means you are more required in business and marriage. It's a great time to start partnership with your life partner. Say you want to start something together. This also means that new and sudden marriage opportunities might come your way. Your romance, your love relations may convert into marriage. Say if someone wants to get married to their known partner, this can be a good time provided the Mahadasha Antardasha allows and the marriage date is selected after 15th November. Now, when Mercury becomes retrograde, this means that you are supposed to be more involved in the 7th house. And if you are not, this is going to break the relation and ties. So suddenly if your demand in marriage or business increases, you will have to manage. After all, there is a retrograde Saturn on the Lagna. It is going to pull you in different directions. What you should do? Keep moving, keep working hard, because Jupiter, Saturn, all other planets are there to help you. This is definitely going to give you an idea about creating joint assets. So a joint house is definitely on the cards. And if you want to start a new product, a new business, new ideas that comes in your mind, write it down. Consult a professional person and consult your subject matter expert and see what can be done. Don't force yourself, but don't deny the opportunity. Don't deny the idea. You may also see that you have to work very fast during this time and you cannot slow yourself down. That's okay. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Be in that philosophy, do the karma, don't see the result. Pisces. Now for Pisces, if you observe, just like Sagittarius, just like Gemini, just like Virgo, Mercury is 50% of your ascendant Kundali. Why? Because for Pisces, Buddha rules 4th house and 7th house and Mercury goes into the 6th house. So this is going to be resolving issues related to your properties. Say you are stuck in a court matter related to divorce. This Buddha is going to give you the ideas how to manage the situation, how to bring justice, and how to see if things can be in your favor. On 5th of August, when Mercury becomes retrograde, this also gives you an opportunity to cut down the debts by working hard. And this can also give you multiple job opportunities. This can also give you, say you're in a business, so you can be into multiple businesses. So if you want to grow big, if you're an entrepreneur, it's a very good transit. But from health-wise, you will have to be very careful. You should be very careful when you are communicating with different people. Communicable diseases are a risk during this time. And you should be careful when you are dealing with your mother. You not insult your mother. Be very polite. Sometimes you are too direct, but don't be at this point. Now, why I'm saying that you are too direct for Pisces? Because Rahu is in Uttara Bhadrapada. It is going to make you think so deep that you may lose your way. Because the depth is unknown. You think you are going in the right direction, but there is no indicator that whether you're going towards the right depth or the wrong depth. You may otherwise misinterpret everything, especially during Mercury retrograde. So, when somebody is communicating with you, please ask what do you mean before judging someone, before self-interpreting the situation. Here, astrology, numerology, people with counseling energy, healers will help you a lot. Because the 6th house Buddha can make you victorious. But what war are you fighting?